Welcome to Schmitt Tonight. Good to be back with you tonight. I know I missed a heck of a week. And something extraordinary is happening right before our very eyes right now this week. One of the most unimpressive, embarrassing, and blatantly incompetent people that the D.C. swamp has ever produced is suddenly insanely close to running our country. After weeks of Trump dominating in the polls, a new Fox poll has the swing states looking very tight right now with Kamala as the candidate, and this all seems to have happened pretty much overnight. And it's clear how it happened. Our national press, as they often do, has gone back into full propaganda mode. They're very desperate in this moment, and they're doing everything they can. It is the culmination of a very disturbing anti-democratic process that started with the ousting of Joe Biden only after the primaries had ended, allowing Kamala Harris to be effectively anointed with no vetting and no voting at all. Now that she has the nomination, the next step, of course, is the American people are now being indoctrinated. Take a look at the cover of New York Magazine today. That is how the establishment media looks right now. That is everywhere. That's how they look. Here is how they sound.
Kamala Harris, in so many ways, might just be the right candidate at the right time.
Tonight, a whole new race for president. Democrats rallying around Kamala Harris.
She speaks beautifully. She knows her issues. She has the experience.
One of the most qualified people. One of the most qualified people to run in decades.
She is also very attractive. I mean, I have to say it.
This feels Obama-level energy.
A Reuters Ipsos poll had Vice President Kamala Harris leading former President Donald Trump 44 to 42. It's over!
You are witnessing the machine in full effect. It is astonishing to see its power as well. The transformation of someone so pitiful into a political force so powerful in just a matter of days. What planet are we even on? And they're only getting started. Remember, this machine was able to carry Joe Biden until his brain basically fell out of his head during the first debate. Kamala Harris, for all of her flaws, and there's a billion of them, at least is responsive. If you ask her a question, she knows you exist. She'll undoubtedly be an easier manipulation than Joe Biden was. And now it's clear why the machine had to wait until Biden secured the primaries to toss him to the side. Why the nominee had to be Kamala. A Washington Post headline making it very clear. A loyal foot soldier, she never strays from party orthodoxy. That in combination with the money issue they had, this is why it happened. In addition to having no real personality of her own, Kamala Harris has no mind of her own, and they love that in Washington. Just like Joe Biden, Kamala will be a puppet for this very dangerous, quasi-Marxist, post-Obama agenda that has taken over the establishment. Absolutely nothing will change in your country if Kamala Harris is elected. This will all just continue on in a nice straight line, really a straight line going this way, the decline of this country. You'll just have a more diverse, giggling doofus in the White House instead of a corpse. It's the only thing that'll change. President Kamala will arrive to the Oval Office every day and be told the agenda by those who were never elected, expected only to handle rare news conferences, which will sound something like this.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children.
You laugh because she's an idiot, but that's exactly what Washington wants. I mean, that's what you got to remember. They want a mindless stooge, acutely aware that they have no business in power, fully reliant on those who weren't elected, willing to be controlled by a corrupted bureaucracy. She's perfect. We've seen where this has taken us since 2021, when moderate Democrat Joe Biden took power and presided over the most radically left government in American history. He was another puppet. They had so much dirt on him, he was going to do whatever the hell they needed him to do. It's impossible to overstate how dangerous the continuation of this type of governance will be in this country. And it's very obvious. Kamala is the same thing. Nothing will change. It's clear Washington can no longer allow those who are uncorrupted by the establishment, uncorrupted by the machine, those that they can't control, to gain power. That's the moral of the story. Look at what they did to Kennedy during this cycle. A candidate far more intelligent than Biden and Kamala combined. A guy probably with a better chance of winning. The name, the look, the voice is a problem, but he's a good candidate. He can articulate exactly what's wrong with our system, why it's failing our people. They moved rapidly to destroy this man. In a way, Kennedy is the Democrat version of Trump. He could not be allowed anywhere near power because, much like Trump, he speaks directly to the American people and was willing to acknowledge a very corrupt and broken system that is drifting further and further away from any kind of accountability to the people that it governs. Take a listen to how good he can talk to the American people, and you'll see exactly why they had to crush it.
I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. The Democratic Party used to be anti-war. It's now at the forefront of promoting these forever wars. I thought that an open border was a humanitarian policy, and that if you were for sealing the border, it meant that you were probably a xenophobe and maybe a racist. I was wrong.
He's very intelligent. He's very real. They call him dangerous. It's puppets only in Washington now. That's the new mandate. No matter how awful, they only want the puppets. And this puppet is a really, really bad one. The fake laugh they created for Kamala to make her seem less like an alien robot also apparently conceals a genuinely awful person. The parent of one of Kamala's interns years ago wrote that as California's Attorney General, Kamala instructed her entire staff to say, "Good morning, General," whenever she entered the room. General. Reminds you of Joe Biden's wife pretending to be a doctor and forcing the Marine Corps band to create a song just for her when she enters the room. We're dealing with awful, awful people, insufferable people. Kamala's staff have always hated her, a 92% turnover rate. Nobody can stand this woman for more than a couple months. Her interns not allowed to look her in the eyes, a privilege only for senior staff. Imagine suffering through all of that to serve somebody who is so valueless, so malleable by anything, a human windsock that went from hard-nosed prosecutor to one of the most radically left-wing senators in the country, if not the most, pushing to defund the police, a prosecutor, begging for money to bail out the criminals and Marxists who trashed our country in 2020. No spine, no morals, no anything. An empty suit, and no answer when she's questioned about it.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah, well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Yeah, that's Kamala Harris, the president of the United States. Maybe. The polls are tight. That is the disaster that awaits this country if we let this machine choose our president once again.